Hello again. This is part 7 of my functional neurological disorder, chronic fatigue syndrome series. Um, I've had these issues I've had FND, I've had FND for about 6 years roughly, and I've had, my doctor thinks I've had chronic fatigue, which is very likely with my history since I was a teenager. So some of my symptoms have sort of worsened with time rather than developed more recently, if that makes sense. Listen to your body. There are plenty of guided body scans on YouTube to get you on your way till you kind of get in a way of doing it and get used to doing it. It's a great way of, we get, a lot of us with these conditions get kind of internal rattlings that they feel like anxiety, but they're not anxiety. They're just part of the weirdness of it all. Body scans I find can be really helpful for you to kind of learn what reactions are occurring to different thoughts and emotions. I'm a big believer in that. Most things have some kind of solution, however hard you have to look for it, and know what you're dealing with. I don't. Symptom management is the important thing in the illness for me, nothing else. Deep breathing as well. I can't, whenever you remember, just take deep breaths. It makes the world of difference to you not feeling overwhelmed and taking a chill pill. Free oxygen, it's great, isn't it? Drop the shame and guilt. You're not going to be the same as you were 10 minutes ago, or 2 hours ago, or 5 years ago, or even 2 seconds ago, probably. You can only do what you can do at this precise moment in time. And, I'm many of us are far harder on ourselves than anybody else is, myself included, but I'm so good at thinking, I should be able to do this, and getting angry with myself. I should be able to do this because I could do it 10 minutes ago, or I could do it last week. And it's not helpful. It's not helpful. If I decide to put a film on and I'm 10 minutes in and I suddenly think I haven't got a clue what's happening, I don't try and push through it anymore. I just think, oh, well, I'll try and watch one another day, because it just winds me up. I don't get any enjoyment out of it. It's stolen my evening. I might as well just sit in quiet or relax or put some soothing music on. We're always good enough as well. The fact that you've got a neurological condition doesn't mean you're any less of a person than you were before you had it. I'm the longer it's gone on, I'm a firm believer that we ought to embrace being differently abled rather than disabled, because whether I had the skills before or not, who knows? I didn't have the temperament, but I've learned to do all sorts of things I couldn't do before since I became disabled, which I'll cover in other sections. So, we lack many of the abilities to hold down jobs, for example. I can't. This is me quite good, and I can't imagine working, but who knows what could happen in the future. Never lose hope. I've made vast improvements through finding good treatments and trial and error. Trial and error is another one. Tried multiple systems to sort yourself, to organise yourself, different alarms and things. I will cover that in organising yourself, but also rethink your normal. Getting a daily shower is a thing of the past. It's time intensive, it's energy intensive, it's actually completely unnecessary, to be perfectly honest, because the concept of daily bathing was invented by the same companies. People didn't stink before, as far as I'm aware. I keep a bottle of cleanser and J cloths nearby so that I can freshen myself up between washes, and I'll also be opportunistic if I'm near a sink and run hot water and put soap in there and use a flannel. So rethink your normal, but you know, you're just doing things differently. You're not doing them less well, you're just doing them differently. Just think that way. Consider your safety, of course, and your changing needs, because for me there was a lot of different stages as I gradually deteriorated. I'm not saying that that's going to be your situation or is your situation, we're all different, but that was mine. I initially bought a stool to put in my bath so that I could sit on it while I showered, and then as my legs got worse I couldn't get in the shower, so then I had to get social services. They offered me a bath lift, but I've never liked baths. They don't relax me at all, and I think I'd be asleep if I'm honest. I wouldn't like the idea. So I had to pay for my own wet room when my redundancy money came through. But yeah, do try, if you know word of mouth for somebody who does wet rooms, use it. Use somebody on a good reputation. I don't say this to scare you. I say it because this is meant to be an honest series. Those wooden patches you can see above me are wet room leaks, of which I've had several since I got my wet room installed. I did go to a company that specialised in disabled bathrooms that talk the talk, but I've ended up having a lot of problems and nobody really taking responsibility for it. I'm very chilled out, and I've not bothered getting it decorated because it just keeps happening. And I'm just good at rolling my eyes and going, oh, here we go again. But unfortunately, I'm fed up with paying for it now. So I'd probably have got a downstairs wet room if I'd have thought about it, but I didn't. So there we go. It wouldn't have been as good anyway, really, in many ways. Anyway, also with wet rooms, consider you know, not just when you're at your best, but when you're at your worst. What I usually do is because there's no way I could be trusted to take something electric into a bathroom, and to be honest, it's not a great idea anyway, especially not when you have leaks a lot. But I actually got, what I usually do, you see, is I'll transfer to just a wheel-in shower chair that somebody pushes outside the bathroom, and then my home help will push me in. And usually, unless I ask them to stay for any reason, I've got a seat with arms that's non-slip, and I actually keep my legs elevated on. I'm the only person in the world with a footstool in my shower, because marching on the spot is a massive problem for me, as you saw when I'm sat up, and sometimes having my legs elevated, it's not really enough in the shower, but it can help sometimes, and stops it being so painful because they're not jumping as far. Befriend your guts, I'd say. Nice. Lots of us have IBS. Things that I find important to be mindful when I'm having problems is making sure I've got enough fat in my diet. I'm somebody who tries to make sure I have protein with every meal. I'm vegan most of the time now, so I use a lot of things like tofu and chickpea flour, which is my new awesome because it's dead cheap, and corn and stuff. I know that's been linked to digestive issues, but I'm not aware it causes any in me. Yeah, making sure I add loads of fat. If I cook, if one of my home help helps me cook, they're my sous chef, and here to see I don't burn the house down. But I also take high strength turmeric capsules for my general well-being. I used to make them myself. Capsule makers are quite fun, but they're fiddly and messy and hard if your hands are twitching. And you can't make them nearly as strong. So I started buying commercial ones. They must contain piperine, which is black pepper. As this activates the curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric. They also thin your blood, so and things like that. So they're anti-inflammatory, but don't take them without asking your doctor, or at least informing your doctor, especially if you take blood thinners. One thing, I think I went off before I'd finished the consider your safety thing in the wet room. I also bought, when I got my wet room installed, although my home help pushed me in my shower chair, and unless I ask them to stay, they'll leave me to it and then come and help me dry places like my legs and my back that are hard to reach. But I also have a folding ramp kit that I've never needed, but technically it means if my legs were too bad to be getting up, they could wheel me into the shower, and I could just sit in the shower chair. So do consider your best and worst when you're planning, if that's an option. Indulge your sensitivities. Like I say, we've all, loads of us with these conditions have got sensitivities. I've already talked about light. I use indigo glasses to try and stave off migraines. If I'm going to places that are high risk for me of having a seizure, I'll normally take my dark shades with me as well, but I'll take tinted glasses, quite funky colour therapy glasses you can get in different shades. I'm lucky in that I'm not really somebody who cares if somebody thinks I look a twat, but personally I think they're quite cool anyway. I am a twat, it's fine. Earplugs for and white noise generators to help manage the sensitivity, and also earphones. When everybody's out in the gardens, I'll put earphones full blast, white noise and bird song and stuff, and it's amazing. It doesn't cure it by any stretch. It still makes me grouchy and antsy, but it improves it a lot. You'd be amazed, for me anyway. So it's worth the try experimenting. And also with many of us have food sensitivity. My thing, I have to limit my gluten. I still drink beer sometimes, which is, it's a 2-day gut ache, but I do like it. And thank you, John. And last for this segment is be grateful. Every day make a physical or at least a mental list of everything you're grateful for. The roof over your head, the support network you've got, the support you will get, the food on your plate, the good half hour you had earlier on, a great memory, something great to look forward to. There's loads to be grateful for, and the more you think about it actively and focus on the grateful and the positive in your life, it can really make a big impact. That can really change your mental health for the better. Anyway, we're approaching 15 minutes again, so I'm gonna, I remembered to look. I've actually had to ditch 2 videos because they're too long and it wouldn't let me share them to YouTube, so I'll shut up. And I'll be back with another video soon.